Time for a nice island getaway. All right, so this week takes us to Phillip Island, a track that I have not raced much in. I think I did an official GT3 race like a year ago, maybe there, a year and a half. And I did a Camel GT race here once. So yeah, it's been a minute. I said last time that Imola was one of the hardest tracks for me. This is a really tough track for me. The first two corners, it's the patience required for this track is pretty immense, and I just would warn you going into this, be careful with those first two corners, because it's really easy to go off there. I think most people who've tried this track know that, but if this is your first go at it, just beware. We were able to get a 130 385, so pretty happy with that. It took me a while to get it, but yeah, happy getting that time. The Twitch chat wanted me to let you guys know, because I guess some people don't watch all the way to the end, that we do have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thepiltdownman, if you want to watch me do these things live. But yeah, let's get in, show you the lap, and we'll talk about how we did it. All right, Phillip Island circuit, Porsche Cup fixed setup, 42.5% brake bias, and we got ourselves a 130 385. It was tough getting that. I'll show you kind of my thought process that I go through and how I did that. This one, I would say that this last corner is pretty important to setting up your quick laps, but because it's so easy to go off here. We are going to talk about that at the end. So it's pretty much flat out all the way up to here. And okay, so these two corners, if you don't practice them a lot, you're going to go off. Like these are, I think, some of the toughest corners in the sim. The way that I'm doing this is, in my head, I kind of, as we come down in the banking is kind of where I'm thinking about, I need to get on the brakes and come down to gear. And then, like, also colder tires is, you're not going to be able to do this quite as much. The tires need to warm up a little bit to be as aggressive as I am here. So as we can, like, that's the way that my brain is thinking about it. All right, we need to get on the brakes here, but I'm actually starting to brake just a little bit after this this marker here. So maybe car length. But yeah, so as we start to come down to the banking is when I hit the brakes, try and get it down to fifth, trail until I guess I feel kind of comfortable when we're coming out to the exit, and then we just get back on the gas, and we're gonna come up here and we are gonna brake pretty hard coming into this next corner here. Again, the same kind of thought process is going through my head as we start to initiate with the banking and whatnot. Is kind of when we're coming on the brakes. I guess it's not as hard as I remember, but it is long. So yeah, we're coming on. It feels more, maybe 40-50%, and then we're just gonna be on the brakes to come out here, and this corner gets so much tighter, so we've got to turn in as we're coming on our brakes, and then we can kind of start to just hold a certain percentage of the throttle as we're coming around, just to kind of keep our speed even, and then as the corner opens up, we can get back on the gas the rest of the way. I think coming over to the curb as far as I did there is a mistake. I think if I could have stayed, because it's bumpy, if we could have stayed a little bit more over to the right, just like an inch or two, it would have been better. But I goofed that up a little bit, but it wasn't. It was still good enough to get my time up. So yeah, we're just gonna stay flat out. Coming out of that corner, it always takes me, I don't run this track very often. My instinct, like, I think the next corner is the corner that's coming up after this one. So just in my head, I gotta kind of remind myself that we have to go straight for a while. That's for me. I don't know if you guys, anybody else out there needs that, but it's just flat out here for this section. But we do want to stay on the right hand side so we can get a better line through this next corner here. And that'll take us, we can hug this corner all the way up to here. It's not, I'm boss. Braking kind of, the start of the curb or the white line is kind of where my marker in my head is. So we hit it pretty hard because we're going really fast there. And we're gonna hold it, like, and one thing with this car is if you're gonna peak real high on the brakes, you kind of need to come off of it real quick too. So we're coming back down, and then we're gonna hold kind of that medium brake pressure and just come off of it slowly as we come down. And then we're gonna hold that just tiny bit of brake pressure, it's trail braking, through the rest of this corner until we can start to see our exit point where we're gonna put the car as we come out of the corner, come up. So we're coming on the gas later than, like, because it's such a tight corner, so we're gonna come on the gas late, and then we're gonna go, our next point is gonna be the end of this curb. And again, it's a real tight corner, so we gotta be patient going through, which is not my strong suit. I don't know about you, but it's not mine. But yeah, we're just gonna hold our little bit of brake pressure, let off, coast, and start coming on the throttle just a little bit, and give it a bit more as we start to see our exit come up. And then as we get our straight line to our exit, we're gonna go the rest of the way on the gas. Now we can just go flat out for this whole next section. Now this part is hard. This corner, the downhill one that follows, and the one after that, that's a real difficult combination coming up here. Not that any part of this course is real easy, I think, but this is tricky because there's no reference points anywhere. I'm kind of think that, like, you can see where the track darkens up here a little bit is kind of where I start to slow down, but it's more I've kind of built more just a feel of where I am on how I do it. But we're gonna hit the brakes and trail up this hill and just kind of bring it in, and we're gonna come back on the throttle. I'm doing a bad thing here where I'm overlapping. It looks more exaggerated when we're in slow motion than it is in reality, but that's not ideal. But yeah, we're just like holding your, like, not having the throttle going there, and then doing the throttle once it comes off is the right way to do it. But we need to start getting back on the throttle in this section because we've got to use our little bit of area that we can accelerate while we can, and then we need to hit the brakes before we start going down this hill. If we wait until we start going down the hill, then we're gonna end up over into this tire barrier, and I don't want that. I don't know about you, but I don't care for it. So we're gonna hit the brakes still a bit before this 50 marker, and decently heavy on the brakes, and we're just gonna hold them and start coming off of them once we kind of start initiating our turn here. We're just gonna hold them for a while, and then kind of, this is kind of where I'm aiming at as far as my exit point. So we're gonna come back on the throttle a little bit, and then we're straighten out the wheel and come back the rest of the way. And then we've got a real sharp corner the other direction, and so we've got to kind of come off of the throttle and just hold, like, kind of mid throttle coast, and I guess I tapped the brakes a little bit there, and then we're kind of like, the exit comes up real quick after that, so just a little bit, and there's like the track surface is real weird here too, like there's a little groove and everything, so it takes a bit of practice. It took me a bit of practice anyway. You'll probably get it down the first time, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's tough. And so yeah, we're just a little bit of brakes, and then we're gonna come up, throttle as we're coming out, and then we see where we want to point the car, so we're gonna get all the way on the gas, and then we're gonna go flat out here, and then we are gonna have to lift. And I had one of these, I don't know if it's this lap, I had one of these laps that was going real well, and I lifted too late. We want to lift before the corner, not halfway through it. Yeah, so we're gonna lift halfway through the corner, or before the corner. Don't lift halfway through the corner. So we lift, and we just want to kind of graze this this curb, because it gets a little, I don't know if you can see it, but like the curb on this part here kind of comes down and slopes in, but then partway through, you can kind of see it here, it's got a peak, and if you hit that's it really unsettles the car, and you'll end up on the too far out. And as much of a hippie as I am, I don't want to be far out when I'm driving, you know, man. But yeah, so let's show you from outside here. Yeah, we're just kind of trying to touch the white with the outside, or sorry, inside tires here. And then once we've gotten through our lift there, we're just gonna kind of come back on the throttle. And then it's flat out. like I said, that last corner is kind of crucial to getting your speed up, so you can do this, have it going through the first corner at the beginning. But yeah, so there we have it, 130, 385. So yeah, like I said, I'm happy with my time. The fast guys are going to be doing low 128s. Maybe we'll see some high 127s. Haven't seen any in garage 61 yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if some turned up once we see the really fast guys doing the races. But yeah, it'll be interesting seeing how these go. I would err on the side of being safe, but that's just kind of my normal mode of doing things, so take that for what you will. As far as like you know, those first couple corners, I'm probably not going to be hitting these times in the races. I'll be probably closer to 131 is my guess. We'll see when we get to it. And then yeah, hit the subscribe button. It super helps out a lot. We're working our way up to 1,000 very slowly, inch by inch. And then thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you didn't. And like I said earlier, head on over to twitch.tv/thepiltdownman if you're interested in watching along live, and we'll see you next time. Bye.